What is up, everybody? Welcome back. It is Wednesday night. Wednesday night means one thing. It's a brand new episode of Bassin and Castin right here on USA Bassin. My name is Chad Brock. Nobody has a clue what I am doing here. Over to my other side, my co-host, my cohort, the one, no, the man who invented winter shorts. They come from hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of miles away to fish his tournaments. The one, the only, Lisa's better half, Chip Ayers,
I
ladies and
outkicked
gentlemen.
my coverage. How we doing, buddy? Good to see
Good,
you,
buddy.
Chad.
Good, buddy. How is life over on the other side of 65?
You know what? It's all rainbows and unicorns over here. The trees are starting to bud. The fish are starting to move up. Water temperatures are climbing. I got out on the water the other day. Got to pull the trigger on a few. It's all going pretty good, buddy. Going pretty good. Can't complain.
Well, speaking of that, today is April 1st, and you know that could be April Fool's Day for a lot of you at home. Don't forget to go out and get them new fishing licenses and them little shiny boat stickers that the DNR likes to check on the sides of our boats. Don't forget
Yeah.
that. It is time. It is time for those new ones. So be sure, head over to your local DNR spot. Do it online. Whatever you got to do, get them stickers and get that license. It's time to update. Don't forget.
Yeah. You don't want to be paying the men in green, having them pay a visit to you and getting stuck on that. So by all means, April 1st, it's not just about April Fools. It's fishing license day, time to renew. So, which is a good thing because that means spring's right, even every day getting closer. And with spring coming closer, so is Classic Week down at Kentucky Lake.
Whoop, whoop.
That's going to be a good time.
What are we up to? What's the numbers looking like?
Talked to the home office here about a couple hours ago. Well over 250 for the silver. Approach at 120 some, 130, 125 for the classic. Everything is the entries are rolling in. I hear that those two new boats we're going to give away, the confirmation's there, and they're going to be headed towards Kentucky Lake real soon. So going to have some people having to make arrangements to pull home two brand new Bass Cats.
There's another rumor going around that there's going to be two Hanyaks that do podcast, possibly out in a boat one day, going around live chatting with people.
That's that. Come day two of that of those tournaments. I think, Saturday. I think we talked about getting out there, and it'll be kind of. I don't know if we're going to be pirates or media. I haven't decided. I may put on an iPad.
It's hard to say.
And we'll be the pirates of the LBL, I guess.
Well, are we going to do like Mercer? Are we going to call it Bastin and Castin live on the water, or is it going to be Chip and Chad live?
You know what? I think we just wing it at this point and just see how it goes.
Oh, it's going to be totally winging it, regardless.
It's totally winging it. So if you're in that tournament, be sure to send us a message. Let us know where you're at. We're going to try to come find as many as we can, and we're going to find out what those fish are eating, where them guys are catching them. We may be in Berkeley, we may be in Paris, we may be at the dam. You never know where we're going to be.
And for all you guys that are fishing the Classic Silver Cup Tournament of Champions and the Big Bass Classic, remember, wave at the camera as you go by. Wave at the camera. We are going to do. I've got plans. We're going to do one of three things. So obviously we'll try to get some pictures as everybody's going out, do those blast off photos. Everybody likes those.
Yeah.
My second idea is I'm thinking I'm going to try to either stream the entire boat launch. So it'll be live on USA Bassin. So everybody will get to see your beautiful faces taking off, going across the water. Option B to that is if I can't get the live stream working, we're going to set up a GoPro underneath the bridge if we launch under the bridge. So as you guys go by, there'll be a GoPro mounted to the bridge. You guys will be able to wave at the GoPro, and we will post that after the fact.
Oh,
so
that's cool. That'd be cool.
One of two ideas on that, but yeah, we'll be crawling around getting all those photos and doing all those fun things during Classic Week. So we're excited about that. It's a lot of work and a lot of fun, but we like to see you guys interacting with the cameras and whatnot as you go out. That's always a good time.
Absolutely. And Chad, this is when we bring up all the different tournaments that are going to be coming up this weekend.
The BKK Hook Your Dreams tournament
is just, I mean, you look at that, there are tournaments everywhere. And this is the Easter weekend. We want to make sure everybody has a beautiful weekend. Be sure to, thank your maker and love on your family while you're there. But if you got that little itch, there's plenty of tournaments out there this weekend that are coming at you. We got some senior tournaments coming up. We've had some senior tournaments already occur. We got some kayak. I mean, those kayak guys are just blasting them. And there's team tournaments they're all over now. We're having tournaments coming in, and we're even seeing those weeknighters. And you know what, Chad? I just, speaking of weeknighters, I just had a little bird tell me that this is a division that just started over on Brookville last year, but they got a Wednesday nighter over there. They just picked up a new sponsor, and it's Small Town Sports out of Rushville. They're going to really sweeten the pot this year. So if you're on that eastern side of Ohio or eastern Indiana or western Ohio, and you're looking for a good Wednesday nighter, find Dakota Ball out there. Old Dakota, Chad, and find him. That's a heck of a Wednesday night little tournament right there. So, but go to usabassin.com, plug in your state, and find all the tournaments that are going on, because, dude, they are everywhere. They're now it is starting to happen.
It definitely is, and the bite across USA Bassin, the USA Bassin country. That's what we're just called Bassin country.
Bassin country.
It ain't a nation. We're Bassin country.
That's right.
So, with that being said, from seniors, kayaks, the
Co-eds,
mega bucks, the opens, the team trail, it's been wild. It's probably been one of the hottest, wildest starts that I have seen to the season, as far as big fish, big weights, lots of inches in the kayak space.
Yeah,
it's so much so that we launched the kayak 100-inch belt today.
I saw that. I saw the 100-inch belt.
The 100-inch belt for the kayakers is going to be a thing if they can catch 100 inches in a day. At the Senior Classic and the Kayak Classic on beautiful Lake Cumberland, presented by Catawba.
Barkley
On the Cumberland River.
Yeah, there you go, Cumberland River. Yep,
I was half right. We are going to give away those Century Belt or 100-inch belt club belts at the weigh-in.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool. Those kayak guys, it intrigues me.
It's a different world. It's a different world.
And those guys, they intrigue me. They always seem to be able to get into that shallow water, but they can catch them in the deep. And I got to tell you though, and it's kind of what brought us onto this show was an old lake here in Indiana. And what is that, Indiano Place or whatever they call us around here, but the Dead Sea or whatever you want to call Lake Monroe, Chad, I know that's right in your backyard, buddy.
Yes, it is.
That old Monroe, the Big M, is on fire.
It's Chip, it's been doing something since we had the regional last year. They sucked the water out. We pretty much had high water all summer long.
Mm-hmm.
They sucked the water out, and they've done this, I'm going to say, since 2020. We've had the high water. They've sucked the water out, and every time that they have sucked that water out, oh my goodness, it's like somebody took a cover off that lake, and it just went boom.
Yeah.
and it'd be interesting to talk to fish biologists and some different things and get some different opinions on what's been going on Lake Monroe. Obviously, one of the big things that I'm personally happy about, there's lots of grass on Lake Monroe these days.
There is.
Lots of good fun flipping in the grass has been a thing. Now, obviously, scoping is becoming a thing on Monroe. Has been there for a while. But lots of big fish, man. I mean, broke the Indiana State smallmouth record.
It did. Yeah, it absolutely did. Just not a year or so ago, a couple of years ago. But you know what's funny is you talked about last summer how it was high. Well, they sucked the bottom out of it. We had that phenomenal regional where first place, second place, both just barely got edged out, 25 pounds each. If somebody would have told me that, 25 pounds out of Monroe, that's one thing, but it's another thing when it would have come out of two boats in the same day, but turn right around, water's right back up. All the rain we've had here in Indiana, southern Indiana, is right back up, and the weights just keep right on. But if you don't have 25 pounds, you're in the also rans back there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm excited about tonight.
Yeah, because if you want to crack the top three, you're going to have to bring a 20-pound sack right now. At least that's been the pre-spawn pattern.
Yeah.
So tournament one at Lake Monroe. Let's just break this down. The top three: Zach Way, Kyle Horton, 18.64 pounds, big fish of 518. Second place, Jeff Mullins, Levi Mullins, 20 pounds, 5 ounces. Just a meager 5.5 pound big fish for the day. Just nothing to really talk about there.
Nothing too extreme.
But then we had a couple winners. Winners. We're going to go ahead and bring them on.
Let's bring in those two.
And Rod.
There you are.
How you doing?
Good, fellas. How are you?
There's Blake on the left right there, everybody. There's Rod on the other side. And they were our winners from that first tournament, Dad.
First tournament winners. Guys, tell us a little bit about you, where you're from. Tell us what kind of boat you fish out of. Give us kind of a quick rundown about you guys.
Yeah, appreciate you having us on. I'm Blake. I live right here in Bloomington. We're 10-15 minutes from Morse Creek Boat Launch. I've lived here my whole life. Grew up fishing this lake since I've been little.
I'm Rod, and I've lived here. I moved here from California when I was 28, and now I'm 60, and I lived maybe 3 miles from the launch ramp. And we fish at Lake Monroe.
About every day.
I got to ask you guys, and I'm another Indiana guy, just like Chad. I've been fishing Monroe probably 40 years myself. Have you ever seen it like this with the numbers of big fish like we're seeing now?
Yes.
How
in the state team years ago, I fished with Bloomington Bassmasters, and we used to put a tournament on the state team. And in that state team, the lake had flooded, and they dropped the lake and started dropping the lake, and it was post-spawn, and it took in 2 days darn near 100 pounds to win.
That was in the Mel Belt days, wasn't it?
Yes, and that's exactly who won the tournament.
Yeah, that's I remember donating my money to Mel that day, that weekend.
Yeah. I mean, if you didn't weigh in 40 pounds, they were coming in with 40 pounds at 10 o'clock in the morning.
But that was a 10 fish limit.
Yeah, I was going to say 10 fish limit,
but still.
Yeah. But Rod, that's had to have been what, 30 plus years ago?
I think it was probably 25 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. I know it. I mean, we always say we keep this as a G-rated podcast, but we don't want to talk about Mel and his Speedos.
No.
Yeah, and you know what I'm talking about there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Cowboy
Well,
hat. Yeah.
now on the first tournament of the season that you all had down there was on the 22nd.
Yes.
And you guys came in with what, 26 and some change?
Yes.
Yep.
Tell us about your day. How'd that come down?
Man, it was awesome. We had a couple great days of fishing. I was off work that Friday. The tournament was on Sunday, I believe, wasn't it? I was off work Friday, and I called Rod, and I said, man, they're biting. It was just the perfect. We was on a warming trend. It was, I don't know, it was in the 70s.
Yeah.
Warm and coming. The water was still really cold. It was in the 50s, 70 degrees outside, and those bass were starting to pull up somewhat shallow. They were in like 5 to 8 foot of water, and
Okay.
it was just the perfect scenario. They were biting. Everywhere we went, we caught him. He brought his boat out, and we were both out there catching them.
Yeah, and he called me at 9:00 Friday at work, and that was hard to take. By 12, I was at the lake. So
Okay, so for those that don't know Monroe, it's kind of a tale of two lakes. You've got that causeway in the middle, and people call it slow side and fast side.
Yes.
And this time of year, a lot of the slow sides still was still closed for you.
Yeah, very limited.
Yeah. So
Very limited.
did you stay mainly on fast side then, or were you guys bouncing back and forth, or did it matter?
Yeah, we're on the fast side. We've had so much rain here. The slow side's just muddy as can be. I mean, it's starting to clear up now, I think, but you pretty much. I don't know many people that went to the slow side just because that was probably the main factor, really.
We had been going fishing since the ice come off the lake.
Yeah.
So, we progressively seen it get better and better and better as it progressed.
And that was by far the best it's been in a while.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really was.
Everything lined up perfect for that to be a really good.
Yeah. Well, so again, we're not going to ask you for a waypoint or anything like that, but you're on the fast side.
She really wants your waypoints after the show, though.
Afterwards, you can just text them to me. I'll just between us. Nobody's listening.
Yeah.
So were you said they'd pulled up 5 to 8 foot, or starting to move that way?
Yeah. So I mean, really, we were just running. I think about any pocket has them. I mean, those big females are sitting in any pocket. They're wanting to spawn any day. I mean, we're right dang near a full moon right now.
Right.
Water's warming up. They're chasing shad. They're feeding up, just waiting for their time where they can spawn.
They're actually gorging themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So 26, whatever it was, you had big fish that day also.
Yep.
Right? What was the big fish?
It was 657, I think.
Yeah.
Something like
Okay.
that.
So I heard I did a little bit of investigation, a little bit of interviewing. I heard you told somebody that you'd never caught so many 4-pounders in your life, and you're actually trying to is there some truth to that?
The tournament and practice, yeah. I mean, I don't know how many. We caught quite a few 4-pounders in the tournament. It was kind of weird because I've never been to the point where you're running around looking for we needed like a 5-pounder to cull at that point. Usually you're looking for a nice 3-pound fish just to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's all. And that's cool stuff right there, man.
Well, and for a long time, we haven't even talked about Monroe in that sense. It's kind of been like, it was the Dead Sea for so long. I mean, that's just what it was coined by so many. I mean, it had its hit or misses, but, it was the Dead Sea, and Patoka was the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And you guys had mentioned it. I mean, we've had 5 or 6 years of either we had high water all spring or grass. And so I think that's why the lake's fishing so good right now is you just had so many years where that fry can hide. And usually, they pull the bottom out of the lake as soon as they start to spawn, and they haven't been able to last a couple of years. So.
And then you're coming off of 3 years of normal with grass in the lake. So all of a sudden you take away the grass and there's no place to hide.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why this fall was so good. There was no grass, and they dropped the lake down, and they had no choice but to go off on any piece of cover.
Yeah, I was gonna say you find a piece of wood and it was right.
It was loaded. Yeah.
What so
they they had tried to dump a lot of they had opened the gates and started dumping water, but to get that grass coming back this fall or this spring, but it looks like things may shut that door. I think they've actually closed it down a little bit today.
Sad. That'd be a sad thing for a lake.
Yeah, and I know last year was the same way. For some reason, anytime there's a chance of rain or a tornado, it's going to come through Bloomington. The last 2 years, I mean, last year it dumped every day. It dumped on us.
Yeah.
What? So that day, tell us a little. How quick did you all have your limit?
Oh,
8:30 maybe.
Yeah, 8. It was quick.
Well, the tournament started at 8, so 8:30.
Yeah. We had 20. I remember it was 10:30, and we had like 22 pounds.
I thought that's what you said. You told me earlier that you had 20 pounds within the first hour, and then you were just looking to upgrade.
Yeah, it happened quick. I mean, that doesn't happen very often. I don't know if I've ever had that really happen. But
have you guys ever used a mag draft?
Do what?
Have you ever used a mag draft?
I know what they are. Yeah, I do.
The big one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess you put one of them on to catch a giant one, but that was even catching them.
Wow.
Yeah, and it caught. They were just eating anything white. I mean, it didn't matter if you were throwing. He had a couple nice ones on. He was throwing an accident spinnerbait out the back. Shout out to them. They're former Indiana company.
Yeah.
Shout out Brett down there. You're right.
Yeah.
Brett and Ed.
Yeah.
Yep.
We threw anything white. It was chatterbait, spinnerbait, jerkbait. I mean, anything. In practice, I don't know how many we caught with a big tail sticking out of their throat.
There you go.
They were just absolutely gorging themselves.
Big giant minnow, an 8-inch minnow.
Yeah.
Now I was going to say, did you catch any with that any floaters or any looking at them with the scope?
Yeah, I did a little scoping out of the front.
Okay.
But no, Rod held his own. I mean, Rod caught, I don't know how many limits of fish he caught out of the back of the boat. It was.
Yeah, it was phenomenal fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was nice being able to.
It was all day fishing like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So
the topper is
until the end of the tournament.
Yeah, Lake Monroe right now and Patoka is the same way. There's so many wipers in the lake too, so you're constantly catching a wiper or a bass. I think we threw catfish in the mix.
Yeah.
So you didn't hit a flurry and then just kind of die off. You just caught them
all day.
We didn't even want to come in. I mean, we went to another place there at the end of the day, and we were catching them at the end of. There was a kayak guy sitting right next to us, and we were casting around him, catching them. They're just eating. Been a long winter for them.
But it didn't stop there, because we're going to talk a little bit about tournament number 2 that popped up on the 29th, just last weekend. And boys, you turned around and did it again and had 21 pounds for the second weekend.
In actuality, I think the second tournament was probably even better.
Yeah.
But, we had a couple bigger fish get off the line.
Yeah.
I mean, how everyone wants to do the 30-pound thing, and that's kind of a goal or whatever. We really thought, I didn't want to feel like a brat, but we were kind of disappointed with the 21 deal when we left the lake that day.
We had, I don't know if it's because we've been pestering them fish for every day for the last 2 weeks. I think I went every day last week, but they got to where they were just biting everything short and slapping at it and coming off. And I don't know what the deal was, but Sunday was very good. They were both unbelievable days.
Yeah.
Second place at that event kept you guys pretty honest in the whole scheme of things. Even with, not only did they keep you honest with total weight at 2166, but they kept you honest with big fish weight at 633.
Yeah.
So that shout out to Jeff Mullins and Levi Mullins on their second place finish on the 29th. That's pretty awesome on its own. But
that is.
Those boys, I know. I felt bad for him because he on this last one he definitely had it, and I felt bad telling him he was going to bring in a real big bag at the very end.
They're really good competitors out on the lake. They're really nice people.
Yeah, Jeff and Levi are good people. Yes,
great. Yeah,
they're really
great. Another former
people.
college fisherman too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and bring on the other first place finishers from tournament number 2 here.
Let's get
introducing to you guys at home Kyle Kuntz and Eddie Patrick. What's going on, gentlemen?
How's it going?
Happening.
So,
I'm taking some.
first things first, man. Tell us where you're from, what kind of boat you're fishing out of. Give us a little bit about you.
I'm Eddie. I live here in Nineveh. I grew up in Brown County. I've fished Monroe for about 25 years now, and I fish out of a 98 Stratus.
Okay.
Yeah, my name's Kyle Kuntz. I live in Nineveh too. We're neighbors. We live about 5 minutes apart. Haven't been fishing Monroe quite as long, but probably I'd say the last 10 years, I've been fishing it. But yeah, we're just buddies that love to fish and live close to each other. So,
Well, fellas, you brought to the scales 25.65, and they felt so bad for everybody else they didn't even put your big fish down.
well, there wasn't a point to. I mean, there's so many big fish caught. We had 2 510s, weren't they?
Yeah,
Eddie?
we had 2 510s in our bag, and we didn't even weigh them because of Blake's 630.
That's a good day, boys.
650.
That's a good day.
Oh, my bad.
650.
Well,
So, go ahead, Chip.
well, I was just going to say, did you guys get a chance to go practice over there, or did you just roll in and just find them? How do you just luck on, or not luck? How do you just come on 25 pounds?
Yeah, I did get a chance to go down there Thursday. Shout out to my boss, Jason, for letting me off work. I work for the gas company out of Columbus. Told him,
Okay.
hey, I think I'm going to go fishing Thursday afternoon. He's always great about that. He's like, yep, sure, no problem. I understand. We'll see tomorrow. So I got down there Thursday about, I'd say 12:30, 1 o'clock, somewhere in there. And I think the temperature Thursday was like 80 with a 15-mile-an-hour south wind.
It was
warm. I was in shorts and T-shirt. I think I had my shirt off at one point fishing. I mean, it was just a beautiful day. And I was fishing shallow. I was in the dirt fishing behind the trees at the bank. I mean, I was fishing 2 foot of water. And I had a decent day. I wasn't catching them like Blake and Rod was, but I had a pretty decent day. But I knew things were going to change quickly Sunday with the cold front coming in. Didn't figure those fish would be up there that shallow. So our game plan definitely changed a little bit going into Sunday morning.
Okay. So let's talk about Sunday morning. I mean, we talked with Blake and Rod. So tournament morning, you did you go again? You probably heard us talking fast side or slow side.
We went to the fast side as well.
Fast side as well. Okay.
Yep.
So you were fishing a little bit cleaner water.
Yeah, it still had a good mild stain, but it was definitely cleaner than the slow side.
Okay. All right. How long did it take you to get your limit that day?
At 10:30 Sunday morning, we had 22 pounds in the boat.
Oh, wow. So in the first couple hours, you were already
First couple hours, yep.
I think
Okay.
our first fish came. It was a floater. It was
Yeah.
where we kind of found a little deal and just started running that. But the first fish was within the first 10 minutes, gave us some confidence what we were throwing to keep it in our hand. And then
Yeah.
we kind of, we ran into them, and then we're just able to kind of duplicate that the rest of the day. And it was similar to what Blake and Rod experienced. I mean, it was all day long. So
Okay.
We know we guarantee we threw back 2 20-pound limits that day.
Yeah.
We had 30 to 40 keepers that day, and we was throwing 4 to 4.5 pounders back almost all day long.
Wow. Now, Eddie, how long? Kyle said he'd been going over there about 10 years. How long you been fishing Monroe?
About 25 years. I started fishing there when I was about 6 years old. I started fishing the Bassin Kids tournament there when I was about 6.
Okay.
So, how do you see this? How do you see this progression? Have you enjoyed it from a fishing standpoint, as far as seeing it grow and develop into what Monroe is right now?
Oh, absolutely. Like you guys said earlier, it was known as the Dead Sea for years. And my grandpa and uncle fished the lake with Rod for 30, 40 years. And you'd always heard the stories about the fish that they caught all the time. And it just went downhill for so long.
Yeah. Yeah. What, so Main Lake, again, not going to ask for specific points. back of pockets, float? Because you talked about a floater.
I did catch one floating right off the rip, and it was a 510.
Okay.
And we didn't get another bite for probably 30 minutes, and then we finally landed on a point that was absolutely loaded with them.
Okay.
And we sat on that point for probably an hour, and that's where we caught the rest of our 22-pound limit.
Okay. For those that may not know, I mean, I know the term. I think everybody knows the term, but if you don't know, floater is kind of that one you see out there on the scope. He's not really on anything. He's just kind of doing his thing out there. You just see that blob.
Yeah, that fish was sitting in 4 foot of water over 20 foot of water.
There you go. Go.
And everything else was on the bottom, in that area of where that fish was at. Everything was on the bottom. And it was funny, since we're talking about this, is I'm in the back of the boat and doing my thing, and Eddie's up there. And typically the rule of thumb is, in a team tournament, obviously both guys can fish off the front deck. But I fished IBS and the BFLs as a co-angler. So we're restricted to the back deck. So I'm comfortable back there doing my thing. It doesn't bother me. I don't need to look at the scope. I'm, whatever. But when Eddie saw that fish, everything about Eddie's demeanor changed. His posture changed. His cadence changed. Everything changed about his voice changed. So I knew, that something was going to happen. And I remember looking over and his rod was already loaded up, and I was pretty much already going for the net. But it's just that fish, he knew that fish was reacting the way he wanted it to react. And I could tell by Eddie's language that, it was getting ready to go down. So it was kind of fun to see that, transpire look that way.
So what you're saying was Eddie was like a bird dog on point with a covey, and you were just waiting for it to go in.
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go. Okay. All right. Billy Briere jumped in there and said there are a bunch of hammers on there. I'll tell you, coming from somebody like Billy Briere, that's pretty strong when he's calling y'all hammers. You know what I'm saying?
That dude is a hammer down there as well.
Yeah,
Billy is a great guy. And
shout out our buddy Billy. How many times did you say you called?
Oh, we don't even know. Probably 10, 15 times at least. Probably even more than that.
Okay. All right.
When you pick a 4-pounder up and you just look at the scale and you just chuck it back, you've had one of them days.
Okay. Well, I tell you, Chad, can we bring Blake and Rod back in here? I just want to start throwing some stuff out to all of them, just kind of get an open thing going on for our folks at home.
They're still here. All I got to do is flip screen. So you just tell me who you want to talk to, bud.
Okay. Well, what we'll do is I'm just going to ask, because we put it out that all you guys were going to be on tonight. So I got some questions. People were sending me questions. Hey, ask him this, ask him that. Yeah, Rod, he's already nudging Blake. So
and for you guys listening at home, if you do have questions, drop them in the comments, and we will pop them up on the screen, and that way these guys can answer them and see it. We'll put them right on the spot right here for you guys tonight live.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of guys want to know jerk baits, shaking a minnow. That's were you more jerk baits, more shaking a minnow, glide baits? Where are we at?
It was more of a jerk bait than a minnow. I think you could have caught some on a minnow, but they were, like he said, they were eating that jerk bait pretty good, but they were sitting pretty high, so it was harder to keep a minnow in their face.
Okay. What about it? What about it, Eddie? What about it?
We were jerk bait as well.
Okay. All right.
I can't catch a fish on a minnow like Blake can.
Okay. All right.
We did talk about that as the day was transpiring. I asked Eddie, I said, for those deeper fish, should we pick up a minnow? And neither one of us really have the confidence in it, just because we don't do it that much. So, but depending on where the fish is sitting in the water column really dictates a lot of times that you can't get a jerk bait down there to them.
Yeah.
So luckily these fish were in the range where, we could get to them. But with the minnow, that's just something we need to get more confidence in.
Right.
And just learn how to do a little better.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't bite it.
Yeah, whatever.
Here we go. Let's get it started. So did you you're mainly with that jerk bait bite. At any point through the day, did you think about scrapping that and trying something totally different to try to get you get 26 pounds to try to get even bigger bite? I know, Rod, you'd said something about you picked up maybe even an 8-inch mag draft.
Yeah, it just seemed like it didn't matter. That jerk bait still overpowered everything, you know.
And actually, what's the funniest thing about the mag draft is it still catches plenty of 2 and 3 pound fish. We were hucking it out there hoping something big, and I
was bombing it as far as it could go away from the boat, you know, just to get a long, steady wind, and you were catching stuff on it, like you said. 14-inch bass bite that thing.
Yeah.
Now, Blake, Rod, did at any point? You guys have fished 2 tournaments, but both teams here have fished 2 tournaments. Have you run into each other out there on the water yet?
I don't think we have. Yeah,
no, we've seen you. We've seen you one time on Sunday.
2 times, I think.
Did we see him twice?
Yeah, because we kind of were joking back and forth. We saw Blake a couple times running around.
We got a little scrambled. Started making some bad decisions.
I thought Blake's on the run, and then he comes in.
Yeah, I know. I panicked.
We really don't pay attention to that. To tell you the truth, the only one we're looking for is the game warden.
Yeah, and he was out there both weekends too.
Yeah, I was good at that, but no. In actuality, we pretty much leave people alone.
Try to.
Okay.
Try to. You know, sooner or later you're going to meet up, and
and Sunday we pulled into the ramp, and that's when I seen Eddie for the first time, and he asked what I had, and I told him, and then Eddie never said nothing. I come up on Bryce Kalen. He goes, "That Eddie's got like 25.5 pounds." I said, "Well, you didn't act like he had nothing when I talked to him."
So what you're not saying old Eddie? He didn't sandbag maybe a little bit, did he?
Yeah, he didn't say nothing about it. Yeah, he said I got 5. He didn't say he had 25 pounds.
You didn't ask how much I had. You asked how many I had.
There you go.
That was funny.
All right. Is this bite going to continue? We're getting closer into like you were talking about, Blake. I think it was Blake was saying, we're getting full moon. These fish are pink moon. They're gorging. Is this bite? You got a tournament in basically a week from Sunday, about 10 days. Is this bite going to continue, or are they going to transition up on that bank? Are things going to change with the? Throwing some questions here. Is it going to change with the slow side opening up?
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think every day what goes by, your window of opportunity for bigger ones are not dwindling 100%, but narrowing down.
Okay.
So this is the big gorge before they do their thing, and then they'll disappear until post spawn time.
Right.
And our window is narrowing. Usually 21, 22 pounds wins at Lake Monroe.
Yeah. And you got, that bite, what we've been doing, and Eddie as well, probably, I think, is going to be going away. They should be going to the bank. They should be here any day. It should be the great migration to the shoreline.
Yeah. And with that high water, in the bushes, they can spread out when they get up there, and they just get hard to find. But, with Eddie and I, typically I'm a creek guy. When that creek opens up, I'm turning right out of cut right. And I fish out of a little 19-foot tracker, and I'm up in the creek, and, Eddie's making me a believer pretty quick of the main lake, obviously. But when that creek opens up, that's where I live usually. So, there'll be guys that go up there, they get in Pine Grove and up in that area, and it's going to go down for sure when those creeks start opening up. But I think as far as the heavy pre-spawn bite, just like Blake and them were saying, when they start pushing up shallow, they can just get in those bushes and just hide. If you can get, up in there with them behind the bushes and find them, you got a good shot. I just don't think they're going to be as congregated, obviously.
Now, what do you guys think is going to happen? Let's say the weather band's actually right in Indiana for once, which he's right every day because we have a cold front, pretty much every day. Let's say this thing gets full of water, we get another big gush of the wet stuff, and it muddies up the lake, and temperature, kind of falls back just a little bit. What do you think that's going to do to this bite? Do you think it's going to push them back and maybe we'll see a second wave of it? Or do you think it's going to they're just going to keep coming up?
I feel like with the water still rising, I feel like they're still going to come. But it's when they start pulling that water back off of them is when they're going to make the change and start pulling back out.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you can put your boat in the water in the morning and the water is 61 degrees, that bite will still exist.
Yeah.
But right now, we go in the back of a cove and it's 58 degrees and you go, man, it's really warming up. But that's in the late afternoon and that don't stay.
That's the first 2 inches of water too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
that's what causes the bass to float, because he's up in the upper half of the water column in the warmer water so he can digest food, because they don't digest food very well below, in the low 40s.
I'm going to jump in here. All you people, everybody that's at home watching this, you better bookmark this one, because all those tournaments in Monroe, there's some straight up gospel coming out here, Chad. We're
going to have to start a third podcast called the Bassin Nuggets.
Yes, we are. There's some straight up gospel coming out of here. Okay.
There's some guys at home kicking stuff right now, mad about all the live scope talk too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Yeah,
It's just Randy. Randy will be fine.
Yeah. Well, I see old T-Mac, Terry McWilliams is jumping in there when Rod talks. You say when Rod talks Monroe, you better listen. So yeah, that sounds like it. So okay.
I think it's time to bring in some directors. What do you think?
That's what I was getting ready to say. Let's bring in the guys that probably got some tendonitis in their elbows from weighing all these fish.
We're gonna have to go to the widescreen now here, Chip.
Yeah, you can hide us. I don't care. You hide me, it don't matter.
Especially a widescreen for Jason and I.
Yeah. So Jason, Rob, I know this is your first year running this tournament, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Did you expect anything like this when you took over the directors of the Monroe Spring Division?
So me and Jeff talked last year, and he wanted a break. He wanted to know if me and Rob would take it over. So we talked about it, and it was kind of a last-minute deal late into January before we actually took it over. And then, we got closer to tournament time, and we was watching the weather, and I told Rob, I was like, dude, we're going to have record warm. And ended up being like 92 that first tournament was the temperature on our way home. And I told him going in, I was like, dude, we could have like some giant bags, because there's going to be warm water. They're going to be up feeding. There's going to be some guys find them and just absolutely wear them out. Sure enough.
And I think to touch on that too, Chip, I don't think anybody really, unless you're there and you fished this Monroe division over the last several years, how many good fishermen fish these Sunday tournaments that, Jeff and Austin Roberts have put on for a long time, and now us. We knew it because we fished them, but, there's so many guys like Blake and Rod and Eddie and Kyle. That any day, you just don't know who's going to bring in a 24, 25-pound bag. I think that's guys like Mike Quinlan fished this weekend and had an 18-pound bag, and he's talked about grinding it out to get 18 pounds. And he's obviously a very successful fisherman too. So I think people don't really realize how many good fishermen fish these Sunday tournaments. We're pretty blessed to be around these guys. We're probably hit these guys. We're going to follow them around this weekend or the following weekend so we know where they're fishing. I think that's the.
I was going to say,
I'd rather tell you than follow.
Yeah.
I'd rather tell you where than follow me.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do it.
I'm just kidding.
The funny thing is, you look at the results from these tournaments, and Rob, you're right. It's like a murderer's row of Southern Indiana anglers. It's some stone cold killers on there.
Well said.
I know what you're saying, put one of those little Apple the little Apple trackers on there so you can see wherever they're going when you do boat check. Just start slipping in a little GPS tracker.
Just get the assistant director to go walking around while you're taking the money and just just tapping the back of everybody.
Sticking them on the boat somewhere.
Live well checks.
What when's your next tournament?
April 12th.
April 12th. Okay.
Yep.
All right. And now there is no limit on. I mean, how many boats have you guys been averaging?
About 34.
Yeah, we had 35 the first tournament and 32 the second tournament.
Okay, so you got plenty more room.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So and it sounds like, like these guys are saying, this lake's fixing to bust loose even more when the water starts warming up. Like Kyle was saying, now the creeks are going to start, so there'll be a lot of different stuff going on. What has been? I know. Jeff and Austin ran an awesome circuit. What has been your biggest, surprise in running the Monroe division? Is it the weights, or what?
I was expecting big weights this year just because of how it ended last year, but I didn't expect the amount of big weights that we're getting, the amount of big fish.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
So here's a question for all you guys. Now the weeknighters haven't really started at Monroe yet. Senior trails coming to Monroe. Obviously, we're going to have more tournaments coming to Monroe. What do you think that pressure as it rises here this spring into summer is going to do to these fish? Do you think they're going to get a little bit of that Monroe lockjaw, or do you think the bite's just going to keep on chugging away?
Oh, I think it'll definitely slow down. It does every year. I mean, it'll start getting pounded.
Yeah, like Blake said, like he started having fish slapping and short striking. They're starting to feel the pressure already. I mean, they've seen so many baits already this year, and the lake's just going to keep getting pounded harder and harder every weekend.
I was going to ask you guys: are you, Blake, Rod, Eddie, Kyle, are you noticing that those fish are starting? I know Rod said they were. Are they starting to react some to that pressure? I mean, the pinging, the baits, are they starting to get a little bit wary?
I noticed on the first tournament, they were some of the dumbest fish I've ever fished for. I have pictures of practice of the whole jerkbait in their throat and everything they were eating. They were just completely choking. But for us on Sunday, which those fish had kind of left and I refound them. I know it was the same group of fish. They just kind of moved to a different little area. But they were in the morning, they bit really good, which kind of surprised me. I mean, they were biting as soon as we got there. And then by probably noon, 1 o'clock, after we had our main 5 fish, it kind of turned to where they'd grab it and I'd have them on for a second and then they'd come off. I mean, I know they were just slapping it. I mean, we were getting them hooked on, one hook that's the 657, the big fish that I caught. It had, Rod got VIP of the day with the, or MVP, not VIP, with the net job. It came by the boat 3 times, skin hooked in the lip. And I don't know how it stayed on, but it came up to jump. And as it was jumping in the net, it came off. I mean, we could easily had 15 pounds.
Wow.
And the bigger one had it completely engulfed in its mouth to where you couldn't even see it. And it come off. The lure come right out of its mouth.
At the net.
Wow.
I don't know, but with that jerkbait, sometimes they get it to where it's wedged in their mouth, and I don't know if it just didn't have the hooks. I've caught multiple that have it just wedged sideways in their mouth, and they're barely hooked.
Yeah, or not even have a hook in them at all.
Yeah.
I've had the same thing happen. You get them 5.5, 6 pounders, they'll have that jerkbait sideways, and you won't have a hook in their mouth at all.
Yeah.
Just kind of wedged in there.
It's completely sideways in their mouth.
I'll be dang.
Yeah, they're eating it pretty crazy. But Sunday I definitely noticed the pressure getting to them a little bit.
Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I got to tell you guys, I'm sure you're seeing them scroll across the web. It's kind of interesting who's watching tonight. I mean, we've got Terry McWilliams, we got Shane Peters, we got Billy Breer. you guys are doing something that people are wanting to know what's going on, because those are some absolute stone cold hammers on Lake Monroe, and they're all watching. So yeah, there's some stuff going on down there. Jason, you're gonna have to start going to the gym. You guys are gonna have or either that or you're gonna have tendonitis from lifting all them 20-pound bags as this keeps going.
That's what I told Rob Sunday. It felt like we weighed in 50 boats.
Yeah, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and,
we
it hasn't
had-
been brought up yet, but I mean, between Terry and Mark Dove, you got Jeremy Knapp. There's 3 Bassmaster Classic fishermen right there at the Fish Lake against.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's some.
Absolutely.
And Matt.
Oh
And
yeah,
you guys
Matt.
got to throw Matt McCoy in there, and
Yeah,
every
Matt,
once in a while, every once in a while we get you get old Chris Meyer down there from Madison jumps in. So yeah, we got some guys. There's some Monroe hammers out there.
Yeah.
Well, what's your plans? What's everybody's plans for the rest of the year? What I know you got USA Bassin, obviously. You guys are in a tight fight for the trying to get that division championship. But what else? You going to stick with Monroe? You going to jump in some more divisions? Where do you think you fish? Rod, you live so close. You guys going to fish any of the?
I live a little farther now, but no. I mean, we'll just stick right here.
Yeah.
You know,
I
we
don't blame
really
you.
enjoy the lake.
I don't blame you.
We jump
How
How
around.
about you, Kyle?
Me and him both are going to fish the IBFs this year, so we're going to get to jump around a little bit. And then I fish a small club with my grandfather, and we go to several lakes in the state as well.
Still keep it.
Okay. All right. Jason, you're going to have your hands full. You're running the spring and the summer. Am I right in saying that?
I'm running the spring, the summer, and the Thursday nighters.
And the Thursday nighters.
Nice.
When do your Thursday nighters kick off?
April 16th. That tournament will be 5:45 to 8:45 because of daylight.
Right.
And then this year we changed it up. We're trying to get a lot of boats to fish these derbies. So it's $65, and we're just fishing 5 tournaments. They're 100-point tournaments.
And those are the night the
Thursday evening,
the Wednesday evenings. Yeah.
Thursday.
Is that going to
Thursday
stay at
evening.
3
Thursday
fish?
evening.
Jason?
Okay. All right.
I didn't hear you.
Good.
Is that going to stay at 3 fish on the Thursday nighters, or are you going to
It
go
is.
5?
Yes.
We've also, guys, just so you know, we've added something here. We haven't told anybody yet, so it'll be official tonight. Is on that. We're trying to really get the Thursday night deal back to where we were getting 15 and 20 boats. So we're going to add. We've got a sponsor that's picked up. We're going to give the division winner at the end of the 5 tournaments and the Thursday nighters will get $1,000 additional, and second place gets 500.
Wow.
Oh,
Is there
that's a
any
good
way
prize.
you guys can move it to Moore's Creek launch ramp? You'll get more people.
Yeah, I will. I think you would.
We could. I mean, I guess that's something to talk about, Rob. Maybe we'll talk about this next weekend.
Yeah. That and the ramp worked good. You don't have a high water ramp. You have a ramp what works.
Yeah.
We launched there. Did we launch there last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, I know I didn't know. We just stumbled across it, but the summer division that Rob and Jason run is probably one of my favorite things yet. I mean, it goes like what 6 to 11, 6:30, 11.
It's a 5-hour tournament.
Yeah,
it's perfect.
The heat of the summer. You're off the water by the time it gets real hot, and you're passing the pleasure boaters as they're coming to the lake. So
And you're not carrying fish around in your live well for
9 hours.
9 hours in the heat.
That's a great. I mean, well, that's one of the best ones I've fished.
Thank you.
good job. Good.
Yeah,
Good
Take
job.
good credit for that,
That's-
don't we, Jace?
Yeah.
And that has a reduced limit on it too, doesn't it?
No, we do 5.
We still did
Oh,
5
we
because
did
we're
do
getting off
5?
early enough. We
Okay.
thought we're okay.
But
Yeah.
you don't see a bunch of dead ones because
No.
it's not a whole day cart.
So I
around.
posted it at the end of the year last year, how many fish were weighed in, and I don't remember what it is now in the weight, but we did 6 tournaments and only lost 2 fish, and
Yeah,
both
that's-
of them were gut hooked.
That's
yeah,
good.
That's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
And there was a lot of fish weighed in.
Yeah.
Got a
Got a
question
little
from Leanne.
audience question. Yeah, for the Thursday nighters, can you fish by yourself, or do you have to have a partner?
No, you can fish solo.
Okay, there you go, Leanne. There you go. You can fish solo on that. Jason Kaiser, great idea. Shorter during the summer. Yeah, I agree. We do that on a couple of lakes over here where we keep it at 6 hours. So yeah, good job on that. Good job on that. And I like the 3 fish. That's pretty good stuff.
Now we got a little segment that we like to do when we've got teams on here. So we're going to ask all 3 teams a few quick rapid fire questions. We like to call it the tournament partner dating show, if you will.
Yes.
It's a little bit of a grill on the guy sitting next to you there. Now I'm going to go first.
Yep. Let's
Who's
go.
the slowest guy with the net?
I'll go first. Me.
Yeah.
Not Jason, me.
I have to boat flip a lot.
Yeah. I'm at the front of the boat, so it's way too long a walk back there. I want to see a 5-pounder. I'm not getting the net.
Okay. I got a question. This is specifically for Eddie and Kyle. Okay. And more for Kyle.
I gotta get the answer.
Eddie's got that magnificent beard going on. Does he put product in it, or is that all natural right there?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the product you're thinking of. It's kind of like a motor oil mix. It's got, like, who knows what in it, but no, it's all natural, bud.
Okay. All right. Well then, and then over there on the Blake and Rod side. I mean, Blake, you're not that old of a guy. I mean, and you've got Rod over there.
You saying he's old?
What are we listening to on the way to the?
I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
What are we listening to on the way to the ramp? Are we listening to the old
You wouldn't
classic?
believe what old Rod listens
Yeah.
to.
Rod's
Yeah.
listening to Slipknot and
Yeah, I'm rocker.
volume 1000.
Yeah.
Okay.
The windows up, as loud as it'll go.
Yeah.
All right. I just wondered if we had if he had the oldie
Lawrence
station,
Welk.
classic rock. I didn't know.
He's from Lawrence County, but he's not listening to Bubblegum Country. I'll promise you
Yeah.
that.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right. So
Liquid
whoever wants to take this one, who's the coffee hitting first?
I'd say
That'd be
me.
me.
That's probably you ate it.
You hit it first, but I think it
Me
hits
for
me
sure.
first,
Yeah.
brother.
And I don't drink coffee, but it is.
All right.
All right, Chip, give us one more.
One more. Let's see. Is it a stop at McDonald's or someplace on the way to the ramp, or are you waiting to eat until on the way home? And this is kind of for all of you.
It's the baloney when we're idling in the middle of the day.
Bologna Island, okay. Blake, Rod, are you eating before the tournament, after the tournament, or all day long?
No, it's since Blake's been a little kid.
Yeah.
We've been, we go fishing. We're not there to eat, so it's eat a
Yeah.
water.
Yeah,
Okay.
Rod coined that phrase when I was a kid. If you're hungry, eat a water.
There you go.
He's
There you
always
go.
there.
I
We
like
out here to
that. I like
fish, and we
that.
out here to eat.
Yeah.
Kyle, Eddie, what about it?
Kyle's 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches is my one during the day most of the time. I'm like Rob and Blake. I'm there to fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, last
Yes,
question. Last question I got.
Drop it.
Green pumpkin or black and blue?
Ooh.
Green pumpkin.
Green pumpkin.
Green
Black and
pumpkin.
blue.
Green pumpkin.
Who said black and blue?
Rob.
Rob. Okay, so we got 5 green pumpkins and 1 black and blue.
I'm a
Sounds
black
like
and blue
Monroe to
guy.
me.
I'll tell you what, I flipped that black and blue jig Sunday for about a total of an hour and a half and never had a sniff on it. So
I
might
didn't
be
even
leaning
throw it
towards the
Sunday.
green pumpkin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That green pumpkin works all over the United States, boys.
It does.
Yes,
If it gets muddy, dip it in some garlic.
there you go.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well,
Well,
guys,
guys, as we kind of start wrapping up this show, what we like to do is go around the room. We'll start with Eddie up there in the corner. Thank whoever you need to thank, sponsorship, family, whatever. Tell people where they can find out more about you on social media, become your friend, your follower, however you want it to go. The floor is yours, gentlemen.
Alrighty. I'd like to thank my wife, first of all. She lets me fish them an awful lot. She's very approving of understanding of my passion for this sport.
And his wife's a hammer too. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
I'm getting
Right
her
now.
dialed in. She's fished a few of the USA Bassin Fall Division with me last year, but I'm not sponsored, but Honey Creek Tackle has kept my boat in tip-top shape, and Catch a Limit Outdoors, I have a few of their products on my boat. They make very great products, and special thanks to Billy Breer. He's helped me set my new motor up on my boat, get all the prop to pad set, and he was a big help to me in getting that boat right.
Applause for Billy Breer. Solid guy right there, man.
Yes, sir, he is.
Yeah.
Terry.
All right. How about it, Kyle?
Yeah, I got to thank my wife too. I mean, she's awesome. We fish a lot, and I just don't, you come home and it's, how was your day on the water? Usually I get texts throughout the day. How's your day going? Are you guys catching them? And it goes a long way when you can enjoy something and just come home to somebody that loves you. And I'm just super appreciative for that. I don't have any sponsors. I think I told Chip on the phone, we're just two hillbillies that love to fish. And so that's what we're
Amen.
Amen.
There you go. How about it,
Rod?
Jason?
Nope, Jason.
Yeah, my wife's great. She lets me fish. If Rob has to bail on me, she'll actually go and sit in a boat, do yoga in the back while I'm fishing. I've drug her behind in a tube before in a tournament, unfortunately, but she's out there with me. She doesn't like it when it's cold or rainy, but I've had her out there a few times. The only sponsor that we got is at Crosstown Capital. They're going to really help us boost this Thursday nighter. Big shout out to USA Bassin. I mean, they're the platform that gets all this going, right? I just stepped in and took over what Jeff and Austin created. They wanted me to help out. And I'm not saying that they're not going to take it back in the next year or two, but I mean, we may work together. But I mean, those two guys started this whole thing in Monroe. They run a great tournament. They're great guys. So, I mean, I'm on Facebook, and then we're at Monroe all the time. We're going to run the 3 divisions. So I hope everyone comes out and fishes with us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Rod?
Well, my wife's probably listening, so I probably ought to thank her for letting me fish quite often. She's a good woman. I'm pretty blessed. Obviously, I think the thing, and these guys will probably say the same thing, having a good partner, fishing with Jason over the last probably 5 years now, we've got to travel a bunch fishing, just kind of different tournaments, different areas, different states. And it's been a blast, whether it's USA Bassin or some other things. And, I think that we've met a lot of good people, and, we're fortunate enough, I think, to get to know Blake and Rod and Kyle and Eddie and guys like that a lot better this year, and just some of the other guys too. I think that's the fun part for me, and enjoyable part is kind of the camaraderie. Fishermen are good people, man. I mean, I think that's the thing that we all take away from it. I mean, you can sit there at the end of the day and be competitive with everybody, but you can sit down and kind of joke and laugh, and I don't know if everybody's pretty tight-lipped on their stuff, but that's good though. That's always a good thing. But yeah, I think, and thanks USA Bassin for everything that they do. And, this thing's getting bigger and bigger, and there's a reason for that, for sure.
Blake and Rod, we're coming to you for the final words, man.
Yeah. We got quite a few people to thank. I gotta thank, my fiance, Rod's wife. They love us going fishing. I mean, every Tuesday night, most Wednesdays. Every other Thursday now. Yeah, we look forward to that. Being gone on the weekends, they look forward to us being out doing that, so we appreciate that. USA Bassin, you guys put on. If it wasn't for you guys, I don't think we'd have any tournaments on the lake anymore. Yeah. Jason, Rob, they put on great tournaments. Can't thank you guys enough for that. Accent, Ed and Brett, they make good products. We use a lot of their stuff. They always keep us good stocked up. So, and gotta thank Rod. Rod took me, between Rod and my dad when I was younger. I mean, I've been fishing with Rod since I was, 6, 8 years old. So he's taught me about everything I know.
How about it, Rod?
I lo and behold, I have to thank my wife and kids for putting up with my fishing obsession. I fished a lot for a lot of years, and my wife really never griped at me about it a whole bunch. I think a lot of times they find it hard to believe that I'm going fishing that much, but I really truly love fishing. I mean, after the tournament, I wouldn't have no problem going back out.
He wants to go
saying
back
no
out
dog.
usually.
I love fishing that much, and the people that I've met since I moved here from California, and I fished there, and when I came here, I met some really super people like Blake's father, John Santos, Merlin Hammer, Tom Forrester. All these people took me fishing all the time when I didn't even have a boat. John Santos took me every weekend, and I couldn't ask for a better place to have moved my kids to, the state of Indiana, and we've had a good life here, and everything has went well in this state, and people really don't realize how good we have it here, being able to go down to a lake where it's really hassle free, where California was a hassle to go fishing. Even you really had to wait in lines to get your boat in, and here we go down there and we gripe about the old sea down there, but the old sea has a lot of good memories for me and a lot of other people, and really we should be thankful for it. And I'm gonna leave you guys with a question. What is fishing to you?
Yeah.
That's kind of
Just
my
think about
question.
that.
Just
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time.
Yep. What is fishing to you?
That's a good way
Means
to
something
live
different
it,
to
John.
everybody.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
I'll answer that. For me, it's this right here. This is what it is.
Yeah.
This is what it is. Yeah.
I think sharing stuff to a point is good for everyone because everyone learns.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got to be a little mystery, though.
Yeah, it's got to be
Oh,
a little
yeah.
mystery, so you work at it. But you know what? It's good for everyone to learn. I think. What if Terry Williams would have never told you about a stupid tube? What would happen?
Yeah.
What would this world be without that stupid tube?
What would anybody in Indiana throw?
Yeah. What would any?
Yeah,
Where else
Times
would you
get tough. What would
Yeah,
you drag?
what else would you drag across the causeway, man?
Yeah.
That guy was he was a trendsetter, man. What a great guy he is too. So
There's the old
kid
train
fishing,
man
guys.
himself. Chris Averill jumped in there.
No, yeah.
And then there's T-Mac. Terry's back on there. Well, listen, guys. I know this has gone a little bit longer than what we normally do, but I want to thank you guys for all coming on here, being as honest as you were. If you can't gather from right now, you need to be on the main lake throwing a jerk bait, looking for them fish in that upper column. That's where they're at.
Don't forget the creek's opening up. It's a good time to go up there.
Yeah, absolutely. Get off the main lake.
Don't really be biting up there.
Yeah, they're biting in the creek. Above
into the
axle.
lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, me and Chip are going to close this thing out. We're going to hide you guys for just a second. We'll be right back with you after we close this thing out. Thanks, guys.
It's going to take a minute with all those faces on there, ain't it, buddy?
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
There we go.
You know what?
Just the two of us.
What a good night. I mean, I know there was a lot of people that was more than what we normally run with, but I think everybody got something out of there, and that was an awesome deal right there.
Yeah. I had a little practice ahead of time. Since we've been doing the kayak awards show, we had up to, I think it was 10 on there the other night. So it was a full house. So getting kind of used to throwing everybody around in the different windows and stuff like that. So if I'm not talking and I look like I'm staring at the screen, it's because I'm reading comments and dropping people in different places.
Tonight was one of those things, you just throw something out there and just let them go with it.
Just let her rip, Tater Chip.
Yeah.
But no, very awesome topic. I mean, one thing that I've learned from these podcasts this spring is like I said, if you ain't throwing a jerkbait from the great state of Tennessee all the way up to southern Indiana, you ain't doing it right now.
That's exactly right. That's
And
exactly
if you ain't got
right.
a mag draft, you probably should go buy one because
You
they're
better.
fishing that thing from Tennessee on up.
Yep, mag drafts and jerk baits are that thing. We got a lot, like we said earlier, we got a lot of tournaments coming up. The classics happening right around the corner. So there, folks, guys, there is so much exciting stuff that's happening. I feel like I'm on, we can bust with everything that we know that's coming, that you and I, Chad, know that's coming with USA Bassin, that we just can't quite say yet. But man, it's just like, hold on, there is more stuff coming, next level stuff. So another great night, man.
And thanks to everybody that has been supportive of USA Bassin and the podcast that we're doing and all the different things. Seeing you guys in the comments, seeing friends in the comments and everything. That's awesome. We all appreciate the support, everybody from us to the tippity top of USA Bassin. We like having the anglers on. You guys come for them, and it's great to give them a platform where their faces can be seen and get a little midweek harassment from the crew, from the fellas.
Absolutely. And keep those messages coming, keep those texts coming. If you got some ideas, if something's happening out there you want us to know, reach out to Chad, reach out to me. Scott, thank you, brother. We appreciate you watching us there. Just let us know what you want to see. Let us know if you like what we're doing here. And we'll see you here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, looks like the 15th is our next Wednesday night that we'll be back. So 15th, more Bassin and Castin, kayak awards show. If you guys, I know everybody's different on that topic, but if you guys get on there, those guys drop some pretty good nuggets too on how they're catching them. So lots of information, lots of different things coming your way every Monday night.
Don't stop. I don't want these boat guys listening to the kayak. I've been listening to the kayak guys, and there is so much info right there. That's my secret. Don't let them in.
That might be where everybody heard about the mag draft.
That's what I'm saying. It was like mag draft.
It's like that's on repeat, man.
Yeah. Those kayak
That's all
guys.
I've heard for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah. So, well, listen. Hey, brother. Good seeing you. Appreciate everybody out there. You all be safe. Billy Briere, we love you, brother. Love all you guys out there. Have a good Easter. Have a wonderful Good Friday, and we'll see you on the next one.
Good night, everybody.